Yes. Mayor Owens. Council Member of District 1, Ron Davis.
Present.
Council Member of District 2, Dami Oladapo.
Present.
Council Member of District 3 and Mayor Pro Tem Keisha Jeffcoat.
Present.
Council Member of District 4, Patricia Alk.
Present.
Council Member of District 5, TJ Ferguson.
Present.
And Council Member of District 6, Deborah Herndon.
Present.
Thank you for that, Madam Clerk. Mr. Manager, would you mind leading us in an invocation, please, sir?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. If you're willing to participate in prayer, please bow your head. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the great city of Mableton that you have blessed. For you said all the powers that are ordained by God, and they're meant to do good for good and a terror to evil. So we thank you, according to Romans, that this city was established in your order that people could be blessed. And so we ask you to give the leaders of this city wisdom tonight to make wise decisions to lead this city all into your glory. And we ask for your constant protection over all of our citizens, all of our first responders, and all of our businesses, and everyone that travels through the city. Safe protection. We ask it in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Manager. Councilman Ferguson, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Ladies and gentlemen, please stand with me and face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, Council, you've been provided a copy of the agenda prior to the meeting. At this point in time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I second.
Thank you. Motion's been made and duly seconded.
Well,
Who's second?
TJ.
Councilman Ferguson. All in favor of approval of the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we'll move right along the agenda. Item 7, we do not have any special presentations for this evening. Item 8 is appointments. We do have appointments this evening. By measure of the charter of the City of Mableton, directors are an appointed level role, which means myself as mayor makes nominations about all directors, and City Council does the confirmation of those as a governing body. So we have 3 directors this evening that are up for appointment. The first being our Community Development Director, it's Michael Hughes. Mr. Manager, this is a point of privilege for you, is how we proceed with this. There's obviously going to be a vote for the council. Council had an opportunity to meet Mr. Hughes as well. Would you prefer to go ahead and proceed with the vote?
Yes, sir, Mayor. I will state that for the purpose of the public, when we look at our directors, we go through a thorough vetting process where they are first interviewed per the charter to see if they have the qualifications. And then there's a technical panel that evaluates them. After that, there is what we call a cultural alignment panel that looks at them to see would they be a good fit for the city of Mableton. And so I will say in all cases that our nominees, that your presumed nominees, did go through the full process and came out top in the selection process. I believe we have at least one present, Mr. Michael Hughes, and the other 2 are not present. But we're really excited because of some pretty sharp candidates, high performing, very well respected in the community. Mr. Mike Hughes is one for sure. So, yes, sir, that's the process, and I think from this point now, it would be up to you to nominate candidates, and then the council would vote to appoint or not to appoint.
Thank you, sir. With that being said, council would like to move forward. with the official nomination of Michael Hughes to be our next Community Development Director. With that, I'll go forward with the vote. All in favor of appointing Michael Hughes as Community Development Director, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing no nays, it is confirmed. Mr. Hughes, congratulations. Thank you for everyone for serving. Please, if you would like to address the council and the guests, you may.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I appreciate this opportunity. I'm very thankful for the opportunity. I look forward to joining Team Mableton. I also want to thank the City Manager, William Tanks, for the opportunity as well and his support. Just as a point of personal privilege, I do have a couple of important people here in the audience I want to introduce. First, my wife, Carmen Hughes, she's waving her hand now. And then also the woman that started my life in this world, Patricia Hughes, my mother. Again, thank you. I don't take lightly the responsibilities that go with this position, and look forward to fulfilling that role. Thank you.
Thank you, and I think you left out, sir, you also are Mableton resident. And not a requirement, but you know.
Nice to have.
That's right.
So the next appointment we have is for Economic Development Director, and that is Mr. Artie Jones. Artie Jones is not here tonight. We're going to proceed with that appointment. He was traveling, but he did take time coming on Monday. So with that said, Mr. Manager, do you have anything to add?
No, sir. Mr. Artie Jones did go through the same process, comes with a wealth of experience in economic development, holds 2 degrees, master's degree, and he is in spring break mode with family, but he traveled back here to meet with the council previous this week because so our committee was, but obviously he couldn't be here tonight because of family commitment. But I do recommend Mayor him for nomination.
With that being said, I'd like to officially nominate Artie Jones for the role of our inaugural role for our Economic Development Director. With that being said, I'll go ahead and call the question. All those in favor of appointing Artie Jones as the appointed Economic Development Director, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. No opposition, the ayes have it. The third appointment for this evening is an appointment for the Director of IT. That is Mr. Francois. He's not here with us tonight. He did as well take the opportunity to come in on Monday to meet everyone, meet the council, and Mr. Manager, just by pure formality, the same process as well. Yes, sir. Thank you. With that being said, at this point in time, council would like to nominate Mr. Francois, the Director of IT. At this point in time, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approving Francois as the Director of IT, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. You got Mr. Francois. With that being said, council and Mr. Manager, we have fulfilled at least the initial plan of having our directors for what we plan for FY 25. So council, I got to take this as a milestone. For the first time, we have all of our appointed directors in place. At least that was scheduled. There's still a couple more directors that we plan to fully complement the city, but this was the goal to establish that planning session to ensure that we would have the necessary directors in place that are in-house employees that will be leading our departments. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the time to do this, and I'm happy that now we can move on just in time for budget season. Right? Yes, sir. All right. With that being said, congratulations to all of our new directors. Madam Clerk, we're now at 9 in the public comment section. Public comment, right?
Yes, Mayor, we have several here, about 4, I believe. The first one is Brianna Perkins. And just a reminder, there's a 2-minute time limit, and the mayor and council do not answer questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening and greetings, everyone. My name is Brianna Perkins, and here I have Jada and Khalid. And I am a business owner currently in District 2. And last September, in Thrive and Riverside Renters Association, we had the pleasure of participating in the Youth Service America 911 Day of Service. And we chose to interview 911 heroes for a community newsletter that was distributed to over 1,000 households. The interview was shared with residents, and one of our 911 heroes that we interviewed was Mr. William Tanks, the city manager. So we would like to present Mr. William Tanks with a plaque of appreciation tonight. Thank you.
The next person is Angela Wynn, and after Ms. Wynn is Monica Delancey, and then we'll have Joe Lehman.
Good evening, Mayor Owens and the council members. My name is Angela Wynn, and I wanted to speak about these corporate landlords that are managing apartment complex in Mableton. My apartment unit continued to be flooded and sewage coming into my unit, and the management informed me 2 months ago that they no longer would be able to repair my unit. So that means they said no, they're not able to fix it, so meaning that I had to move out. When I did move out, they settled me with, I had to turn my keys in. They said no more, we refuse to fix your unit. So now I'm stuck in a hotel and want to share that if apartment complex don't have a plan to repair units, more families are going to be unhoused. As the city council, you need to put guidelines and ordinance in place. We need you to inform us with some solutions and not what you cannot do. Thank you.
Monica Delancey.
Good evening, Monica Delancey, resident District 2. I just want to also recognize the 2 young ladies that were up here earlier with Brianna Perkins. Brianna Perkins is my daughter, but the 2 young ladies, Callie and Jada, they're participating this week in a spring break with a purpose. Every day this week they've been volunteering in the community. On Monday, they did peace and postcards, or we wrote postcards that we'll be sending out to all the elected officials. On Tuesday, they participated in community cleanup. On today, they volunteer at the food pantry. And tomorrow they'll be doing they'll be at the Riverside Garden at the South Cal Recreation Center. So they're spending spring break with a purpose. So I want to make sure we give a round of applause to those young ladies. Yes, thank you so much. Now, on Friday, we'll be having a special end of the spring break youth resource fair, where we invited about 5 different organizations that's going to come out to the Premier Learning Academy and advertise what they do for youth and recruit youth to participate in their programs. In addition, our city councilman, Oladapo, agreed to be at that meeting as well to share updates about the Riverside community. Now, I do want to talk about the Riverside community a little bit. since we have the Mableton Redevelopment Authority that oversees the Six Flags Special Task District, there needs to be a line item in place to keep that grass cut on Riverside Parkway. Riverside Parkway is the gateway to Six Flags amusement park. It should not be looking like that. So make that be the first line item that the Mableton Redevelopment Authority do, is to make sure the grass is kept cut, okay? In addition to that, I know I've been reading about, there's about 15 commission boards for the city of Mableton. You don't have a tenant council board. When you know that majority of your residents are renters, you need a tenant council board. That board will help oversee code enforcement that will be addressing these neglectful, disrespectful apartment complexes that are forcing residents to move out. Also, the board can oversee how many times they don't renew people's leases because they speak up. People are afraid to speak up because they're afraid they're going to be put out, right? They're afraid they're going to be staying in hotels, sleeping in the cars. So what your tenant board can do is really oversee that and ask the apartment complex why they're not renewing people's leases. In addition to that, we have residents that pay over $100,000 staying on these properties, and the minute they get a couple of months behind their rent, being filed eviction on. That's unexcusable. So we need the city of Mableton to take the lead. We need the city of Mableton to take the lead and address this with these corporate landlords. That's what we need for you to do. Thank you very much. We Thrive Riverside Renter Association. Thank you.
Ms. Jo Lehman.
Good evening. My name is Jo Lehman, Regional Manager for the South Cobb region of the Cobb County Public Library System and a resident of District 1. The State Conference Committee has now published their version of the FY fiscal year 26 budget. 2 library projects were included in the House version, were zeroed out, and the expansion of the South Cobb Regional Library was one of those libraries. So the South Cobb Regional Library will not have the expansion and renovations that we were expecting and we're excited about. This is from the director, Keith Schurman. He said, for all staff and community advocates, because we know a lot of you advocated for us to get the money, who helped make our case without legislative delegation, you have my enduring gratitude and praise. I imagine we will live to ask another day, and we will. But to show your love for Cobb County Libraries, there are 2 ways that you can do that. Join Cobb Library Foundation for a magical evening with best-selling author Jennifer A. Nielsen at our 24th annual Book for the Evening Gala on April 25th. There's still tickets available. Or you can give directly to the heart of our libraries during our Love Your Library fundraiser by donating online or in person. Every contribution, big or small, helps us provide vital resources and programs for everyone in Cobb County. So I've been here before and talked about prime time. The 6-week program is over, and the program had over 20 families and constantly over 50 people attended each week. And each student that participated received 12 books to begin their library with. They received 6 books in English and 6 books in Spanish to begin their home library. Dr. Harper, many of you know him from Project Keep 'Em Off the Streets, will be offering a conflict resolution program for teens ages 13 through 19 at the South Cobb Regional Library. The program will teach teens how to explore alternatives to conflicts such as negotiation, legitimacy, and interest in the goal of both parties making an agreement to find a solution to conflict. And the first session will be April 12th, 11 to 2 p.m. And I just want to give you an update on our spring book sale. We raised $59,467. That's $8,600 more than our last spring book sale. And to all of you who volunteered or attended the book sale and spent money, we appreciate you. Thank you.
That's all the cards.
Thank you for that. That will close out our public comments on this section for this evening. Go to item 10, which is consent agenda. Consent agenda has 3 items on it tonight. Is the approval of the March 26th regular meeting minutes, the approval of the March 26th work session minutes, and the consideration of approval of resolution of the City of Mableton establishment fee schedule for the vendor participation of city's events and other lawful purposes. With that being said, council recommendation.
I motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Any discussion on the consent items? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approval of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it. Thank you, council. We do not have any unfinished business for tonight. We do have a couple of items of new business. The first one is a resolution to approve the Georgia Fund 1 resolutions authorizing city manager and finance director to access the City of Mableton, Georgia 1 fund account and to authorize the mayor to execute the Georgia Fund 1 resolutions. So we have another finance director, Ms. Karen Ellis. Would you like to speak to this, ma'am?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item, as well as the next resolution you'll be reading, is general housekeeping. When you have a new finance director, or you have it, in this case, it's an inaugural position, it's good to have as many on the signatory so that there's overlap in case of vacancies. So in this case, nothing is changing to the current signatories or the current active users. It's just adding the finance director, which would be myself in this case, but in the future, finance director as a position to be added to transact on the behalf of the city.
Thank you for that, ma'am. And again, I think we spoke to A and B.
If you have any questions.
Anything you want to add to B? Please insist.
B is more general because the city will transact business with bank accounts. Sometimes they'll open and close, and this again just keeps that same base, be it the city manager, city clerk, mayor, and finance director as your backup sources of signatories to transact on behalf of the city, and always be in continuity in its transactions.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So based on the information from our finance director, council, I'd like to go ahead and entertain a motion to approve item 12A with resolution to approve Georgia Fund 1 resolution authorizing city manager and finance director to access the City of Mableton, Georgia Fund 1 accounts, authorize the mayor to execute the Georgia Fund 1 resolutions.
I'd like to make a motion to approve a resolution to approve Georgia Fund 1 LGIP resolutions authorizing city manager and finance director to access the City of Mableton, Georgia Fund 1 accounts and to authorize the mayor to execute the Georgia Fund 1 resolutions.
I second.
Thank you. Motion been made and duly seconded. Any discussion, council, on this item? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approval of the motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Keisha Jeffcoat, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Item carried with no opposition. Item 12B was what our finance director alluded to as well, which is a resolution of the City of Mableton designating signatories for the City of Mableton. At this point in time, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve that.
Make a motion to approve item 12B, a resolution of the City of Mableton designating signatories for the City of Mableton Finance Director, Ms. Karen Ellis.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Motion been made and duly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and call the question. All those in favor of approval of the resolution or the motion made by Councilman Ferguson, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it. Thank you. We'll move on now to item 12C. This is the first read of the consideration ordinance creating Chapter 6, which is the municipal court of Georgia. As we just mentioned a while ago, we now have all of the departments for FY25 we planned online. including code enforcement and taking over those services. Next item on our strategic plan was to establish a municipal court here in the city of Mableton. To do so, we do that through an ordinance, and that ordinance tonight will be the first read of that. So with that being said, I'll yield the floor to our city attorney.
So Mayor and Council, as indicated by the Mayor, this ordinance creates Chapter 6, which is a new chapter under the Mableton Code of Ordinances. It creates your municipal court. And I'll just briefly go over what's contained within. You have, initially, it just formally names the court the Municipal Court of the City of Mableton. It causes for the appointment of a chief judge and judges pro tem. Chief judge, obviously, being what it sounds like, the chief judge of your municipal court, and the pro tem judges are your judges who will serve when there's a conflict or when there's an absence of the chief judge. This code section should just be read in conjunction with Section 310 of your charter that also lays out your municipal court authority, responsibilities, and duties. What I have here is I have that the chief judge and the pro shall serve 1 year automatically renewable terms. And what that means is unless you terminate the contract, they will continue to serve year to year. They shall serve until their successors are appointed and qualified. So what that means is that even if their contract is terminated, they will still stay in office until you're able to get their successor appointee. It says no person shall be qualified to serve unless they have reached the age of 21 years and have been a member of the State Bar of Georgia for at least 5 years. And it says that their salary shall be fixed by contract. The next subsection covers the court staff of your municipal court. You'll have a court administrator who will be nominated by the mayor, subject to confirmation by the council. And then you will, the court administrator shall serve as a department head for the municipal court. That person may serve as a court clerk and court administrator. And what this does is it gives that person the authority in the absence of a court clerk to still take on the clerical and court clerk functions until someone else is put in place. Then you'll have your court clerk who is selected by the city manager. And keep in mind as I go over, just let me know if there's any issue with anything that I have here. This person shall report to and be directly supervised by the municipal court administrator. You have your bailiff, who shall be a law enforcement officer, your solicitor, who the mayor shall nominate, subject to council confirmation. You have your indigent defense counsel, and they should be appointed as provided by state law. And you have options there. You can use the state indigent defense committee, which is what a lot of municipalities use, or you can hire someone who is experienced with this type of defense and just contract that service out. You will need a translator, an interpreter, and those are also included. And then it also states that police officers, whether it's county police, the sheriff's department, or other law enforcement, that they may execute warrants and writs in furtherance of the court's jurisdiction and order. So that means that the court will be able to use any law enforcement officer to enforce any orders that it may put in place. Your court session shall be as determined by the city to keep the court dockets current. I suggest that when we actually pick a municipal court judge and sit down and do their contract, that we kind of specify that to where we make it as compatible as possible with that particular judge's schedule. So that part of the process should be determined, or those conversations occur once you have a selected chief judge or a chief judge in mind. The court fees, it just says that the court is able to establish a schedule of fees to defray the cost of operation, that the court can assess fines and punishment. What you'll notice here is that I just used pretty much for this section copy and paste from your charter, which sets forth, and that's the 310 section, which sets forth the punishment, imprisonment, and alternative sentencing mechanisms under your charter. The rules, this also comes from your charter. It just says the chief judge shall have full power and authority to make reasonable rules and regulations as long as they are not inconsistent with state, federal, or local law or the rules and regulations and ordinances that you have put in place. The court will have the ability to compel evidence identical to the Superior Court, and this also comes from your charter. The court will have the ability to issue summons, subpoenas, warrants, to hold individuals in contempt of court. It has the process for appeal. The court will also have the authority to establish bail. And then we put in here that, let me see if this is the subsection. Okay, it's a little bit further down, but the court will have the ability to establish bail. That's what that subsection covers. And then minor traffic offenses. This is something that I took from another code. I think I took this from Brookhaven. It is not in your charter, but it is something that I typically see within municipal codes, and I think it's actually pretty suitable. One, it keeps jail costs down, and it ensures that you don't over-incarcerate people. And what this says is that it says pursuant to OCGA 17611, any person cited for a traffic offense shall be released shall be released in lieu of bail upon showing their driver's license. So you do have the ability pursuant to that code section to have this in here. It says this provision shall not apply to DUIs. So if a person is arrested for DUI, of course, they can be incarcerated. And then I also just added other language that says, or other offenses for which a person may be lawfully jailed, because we don't want your officers to have the expectation that they can't arrest if it's contemporaneous with a traffic offense. And we don't want the people who are arrested to think that they can't be arrested if they get a traffic offense. So just for clarity, I put that language in there. And then I said all persons arrested or cited for parking violations shall be released on their own recognizance. And that's because you typically don't arrest people for parking violations, so we just codified that. But that can be taken out at the council's discretion. And then the professional bondsman, and this is what I was actually referring to earlier. So this says no professional bondsman. So what this basically says is that they have to be vetted by the city manager or his designee, just to make sure that they can fully comply with all city requirements for bonding companies. So what I would do is I would recommend for the city manager that the court staff and the judge and the solicitor be the people who vet that process. And most municipal courts do it that way too, so those would be the designees. And then the failure or refusal to give bond, and this basically just says that if you fail to refuse to give bond, then you can be confined. And this particular section comes from your charter as well. So this is the first read. We will bring this back before you for second read on April 23rd. And then after that, if you need additional reads, it's your discretion. And then the recommendation, when you are satisfied with this, would be adoption.
Thank you for that, Madam Attorney. Council, I will look forward for any comments or questions related to this ordinance.
I actually have a question. Once this ordinance is adopted, do we have a general timeline as to when the court would be established, and also where it will be housed? I know it's probably a preliminary plan at this point, but do we have any information on that?
Yes, Councilwoman Herndon. This was the first step to establish the court ordinance. Once I approached the city attorney that we were ready to move forward with establishing a municipal court, she explained obviously this was our first step. Once the ordinance in place, we are already prepared to open the market for a court administrator. I did hear the clerk in there, which currently we don't have in our paying class, so I'll probably come back and modify the paying class to align with the ordinance. But the court administrator will go out to market for, and there are, we've also been scouting. Of course, the mayor has that role to appoint a judge and then nominate a solicitor. So we've also kind of put feelers out there who may be available to be the judge and solicitor. So for staff-wise, I think within the next month, once this is done, within 2 weeks, we may have some candidates to bring forth. Now, when you're talking about location, obviously the city does not have a municipal court. We've discussed a few options. I've talked with the city attorney. We could see if there are some dormant courts that are not being used next to our jurisdiction, or we also have a few places that I've been scouting that would meet at least some of the need, but we want to make sure that those places provide a secure space for judge's chamber, the solicitor to be able to talk to, folks that may be coming before the court. And so right now I have 1, 2 places. Some of the stuff will be discussed in executive session because it's involving some real estate. So to answer your question in short, the people, the ordinance, and the location are all within reach, and I would not be surprised if we have a municipal court established by June.
Thank you.
Any other questions, council? With that being said, Madam Attorney, when do you expect this to come back onto the agenda?
On April 23rd.
All right, council, any other questions for that? We will move on the agenda tonight. There's no other business that we have in front of us this evening, so what I'd like to do is go through our announcements and comments. So, Mr. Manager, announcements or comments, yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Along with the recommendation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. As a matter of fact, Mayor, I will recommend that we go into executive session for the purpose of real estate litigation and personnel. And I wanted to publicly announce that the appointment of Michael Hughes, folks may not be aware that we've had a vacancy in our community development director's role since February 18th. It was a very critical role. And so once that vacancy occurred, we were very aggressive in trying to find a very high caliber, capable candidate. And we're fortunate, very fortunate, to have Michael Hughes just all of a sudden become available. It's just timing. And so I'm very proud that he was nominated tonight and the other directors. But Mike Hughes in particular is going to fill a very critical role that's been vacant now since February 18th for the community development directors. Also, to your point, Mayor, appointing 3 directors tonight, economic development, community development, IT leaves us with, which I thought 2, but now I realize it's 3. The only directors we have left per what the council has approved now will be a communications director, parks director, and then a court administrator. That will fulfill all of the director roles that's been approved by the council. And I think you're right, the goal was to have all our leadership in place before the completeness of transition. And we are, as you said, on target to achieve that. So milestone tonight. And plenty of hard workers here in our city, but again, I want to clarify, like our special projects manager, Mr. Xavier Ross, has been holding down the interim IT tech position now for about a month, doing an excellent job. It's pulled him away from a few projects, but he also is working on a special project. As you know, most of the special projects for the special projects manager have to do with things that are operational that the city manager may not have the time or the bandwidth to get to, but are important. And one of those was the comp plan. So with an IT director and now a community development director, that's going to take the special projects manager, give him some relief, and so he can get back to doing some things in my office that I need help with, like boundary signs and city limit signs and other projects that need to keep moving forward. So just kind of glad that we are making progress and it's taking a load off some employees. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate the opportunity to make those comments.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Madam Attorney, have any comments? No comments, Mayor. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
I just wanted to say I will not be here at the next meeting. I'm on vacation, so Deputy Clerk Allison Benson will be in charge. Thank you.
Enjoy your vacation. Yes. And we look forward to having our new Deputy City Clerk here this next time as well. Absolutely. Councilman Davis.
Just one announcement. There's going to be a housing Forum on April 26th at Grace City Church from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And what will be discussed, of course, is the path to home ownership, of course, programs that help you to achieve that path. But one of the things we're going to discuss also are the effects of housing instability on education, on every aspect of health, and on the community as a whole, because that's something that's really not that much discussed and needs to be discussed. Housing instability right now has a major impact on all three of those areas and many more. And I think it's time that we had that serious discussion. One of the things we can't do is it's impossible to address a problem or even start to solve a problem if we don't really, one, identify it and then address it and look at actionable ways to actually solve those problems. So I invite everyone to come out because it's going to be some really robust discussion. And I'm looking forward to seeing the community there because there's going to be some valuable information that's going to be shared as well. So hope to see you there. And also, I'd be remiss if I did not welcome Director Hughes to the team. So thank you, sir. Look forward to working with you. And everyone have a great night.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, just like Councilman Davis said, I wanted to welcome all of our new directors. We are so excited to have you here as we hit the ground running. You all are very essential to the success of the work that we're doing. So welcome, and we're looking forward to working with you. I want to share that District 2 is having a town hall meeting on the 24th of this month, which is 2 Thursdays from now. I left some flyers out there at the entrance. We're going to be getting together to share some exciting District 2 updates with you. You'll be hearing from our district commissioner, and also Rep. Cummings will be there as well to share some exciting updates, and our school board member, Trey Hutchins, and Honorable Mayor, our city manager. I'm sure the rest of the council will be there as well. It's going to be a great time. So whether you live in District 2 or not, I invite you to come join us. This is going to be a great community event for all of us to get together and just share updates and enjoy ourselves. And another thing I wanted to say is I want to commend the 2 young ladies who came out to give public comment this evening. I think that I just always get so excited when we involve our young people in community activities. It just helps them develop some life skills. It helps them learn empathy, and it just shows them the power of collective action. So I am so happy to see them here at this podium this evening, and I just encourage all of you, as spring break is coming to an end, to encourage young people to get involved. And also, this is a message I think is very obvious. The adults, we need you all to get involved too. That's very important. But thank you all for coming this evening. I also commend with Riverside for the great work that you all are doing. Thank you very much. Yes, great to see all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
I'll try my best to be brief. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight. Happy spring. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited that we're ushering in. There's going to be some warm weather, so we can go outside and walk around and that sort of thing. It's been amazing to see in the past 18 months just how much we've grown as a new city. And what's even more exciting for me is just watching our leadership team expand. They are the foundation. They're the reason, we're building a strong foundation and a culture that's positive and conducive for growth. So we're off to a great start. I definitely want to congratulate Mr. Hughes as the new Community Development Director. Thank you for being here. Mr. Jones is our Economic Development Director, and Mr. Francois is our new IT director on their new roles. We're really excited to have you a part of our team. We look forward to hearing from you and seeing the positive impact that you'll have. We have a great culture here at the City of Mableton, and we hope you come in and you match our energy and op-tempo, because there's a lot of work to do. The goal in building our leadership team isn't just to bring on leaders just to fill seats. It's to bring in individuals who believe in their vision. We want people that are committed to excellence, integrity, and most importantly, to do the work. So we're looking for leaders that aren't going to chase titles or status, but who are ready to roll up their sleeves and serve our community with a heart and accountability, and help us build a city that reflects the values of the people we represent. So, congratulations. Last week I had a town hall meeting, and there was a lot of inclement weather, and so I was just excited for the turnout. There was a lot of people that showed up to make this happen, and we covered a lot of information. I want to thank all of the presenters that presented information. Our city manager gave an update. We had our Commissioner Sheffield, she gave an update. Our county police, our sheriff's office. So a lot of great presenters. We really appreciate you coming out. I think the biggest thing is just engagement. We need more engagement. As Councilwoman Oladapo mentioned, not just with the youth, but also with the people that live within our communities. And in my district, if you have about, close to 13,000, 14,000 people that live in the district, but then you may only have a small handful of folks to show up. So we really need to work on our engagement initiative, which is why I'm glad the directors are on board to help us with that. And then lastly, I do want to say to the students, I hope you all enjoyed your spring break. And last but certainly not least, happy Easter.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I want to first congratulate Mr. Hughes and all of our new directors appointed tonight. It is town hall season, if you cannot tell, and District 4 and District 6 is no exception. So in addition to Councilwoman Oladapo's town hall, which is on April 24th, Councilwoman Herndon and I will be hosting a joint town hall this Tuesday. You'll see flyers outside, and you'll of course see information online. We will be hosting it at the Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta headquarters, located at 5601 North Allen Road. The meeting will start promptly at 6:30. Doors will open at 6, but we are getting it moving at 6:30. The purpose of our town hall is we really want to get to a Q&A session. We really want to hear from you, because we want to move Mableton forward, but we can't do that without hearing from the citizens who make up Mableton. So we'll have a lot of good information to present as well, but we will mostly have a focus on hearing from you guys. I also want to announce Our Given Garden is having a spring festival on next Saturday, April 19th. They are located at 75 Cooper Lake Road, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a lot of children's activities and vendors and plant sales, and it's their biggest fundraiser of the year. So if you're able to attend that as well next Saturday, that would be a great way to support our local garden. So thank you all for being here tonight, and that's all I have.
Good evening, all. So I sometimes have these, let me think back and kind of see where we were and to where we are now. The week of February the 5th of 2024 was a ridiculous week, because we were interviewing director after director after director for different roles, different reasons. And the funniest part of that is that entire week I spent in a room up there on the second floor of this building, and only one man is still standing from those interview sessions. And he has been critical in building this city. So I just want to recognize our city manager, Mr. Bill Tanks, for his 1 year. And it's actually kind of funny, because I didn't want it. The mayor had to convince me, and he kept on saying, no, he's the right guy. And I'm like, Well,
He
because
really
we had this
did it.
other guy that was older than Tanks, and I was like, we can't have both of them. We can't have both of them in a room, and like everybody gonna be asleep. What they gonna do? But I mean, I have truly enjoyed. I went to one of the spaces that we have today, and it was gorgeous. And it was gorgeous because the people that were inside that building were all smiles, all wanted to be here, all eager to work. They reminded me that I owe them lunch, and were just good people to be around. And that's all because Mr. Tanks is putting the right directors in position, with our help, of course, and making sure that we can build this city the way that we need to build this city. So I am 100% elated to see where we were, but more importantly, where we're going. And I am so confident that having Mr. William Tanks as our city manager, we will get there. So thank you. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Merton.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My comments are very short. Councilmember Alk has already mentioned our town hall, so I'm hoping to see many of you there. I want to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Hughes and also to our executive assistant for the council, Ms. Raven Owens. No, Jasmine, I'm sorry, Jasmine Owens. Sorry, Jasmine. And she's there in the back, and she's one of our new hires, no relationship to Mayor Michael Owens. So we welcome both of you, and we're so grateful for how much the city is growing. Staff has made our life so much easier. I remember last year when Council Member Alk and I had a town hall, we did everything. We did the graphics, we checked out the location. I mean, we had to do everything on our own. And this time we were able to call a few people saying, hey, can you do this for us? And it's so wonderful to have staff. And as already been said, our staff has such a great attitude. They're always willing to help. And I think that's definitely part of our culture here, where everyone's willing to roll up their sleeves and get to work. And because we are growing, I would recommend many of you to check out the Mableton Gov website, because we have a lot of events that are going to be coming up for the city. So we have the grand opening of 6116 Mableton Parkway sometime in May, I believe, May the 2nd. It's been, so if you all can come out and celebrate the opening of a new location for our staff members for Mableton. We also have Food Truck Fridays that are going to be starting, that's also going to be starting on May the 3rd, during May the 3rd through the 23rd, right, okay. So check the website, because all of the dates will be on there, because I don't have them all down. And then the Mableton anniversary will be coming up another year. Sometime in June as well. And so all of those dates will be on our website. So check them out, because we have a lot of events that are going to be coming, so everyone can come together and celebrate the existence of Mableton and how much we've come, how far we've come in all this time. So thank you all for coming out this evening, and have a safe drive home.
Good evening, everyone. I do have a couple of announcements for us this evening. First, I also want to commemorate our city manager's building on 1 year of well-deserved acknowledgement for all the hard work you've done since you've gotten here. You came here with a reputation that preceded yourself, sir. You have lived up to it, and I'm sure you will continue to do even more fantastic things from the time you're here with us before you hang it up. That was you said you're on a timeline here, so we'll keep you as long as we can. I expect to have you around. Last night we had so we're members of the Cobb Municipal Association, all the cities in Cobb, and we had the honor of hosting the Cobb Municipal Association for the first time with all the mayors and city council members of the different municipalities of the city of Mableton at the Cobb Works, the new workforce center that opened up. So I was happy and excited. We did have many of our council members that attended opportunity to show off a little bit, to bring members of the elected body throughout Cobb County into Mableton, give them a little bit of what we're doing here. I think we're also joined by State Representative Wilkerson and one of our state senators, Dr. Ray. So I want to make sure I make reference of that. If you have not heard yet, there is a farmer's market in the city of Mableton once again. We've had some in the past, but we've got a fresh reboot this year. I made a commitment to bring farmers markets back to the city of Mableton, and we've been working on that, and we actually moved faster than expected because the epicenter was able to make a few maneuvers and bring the first of several farm markets right here at the epicenter. So this past weekend was the second weekend where there was a farmers market. It starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday and goes through Sunday at 4 p.m. I think. So get an opportunity to come out to the farmers market on Saturday or Sunday. There's a good number of vendors that are out selling everything from fresh produce to the crafts. So I think it's a great opportunity to bring to renew something in the city of Mableton. But more importantly, to start to fill gaps and holes and deal with issues the way we can. Some of you may have saw a spot on Channel 2 where they actually talked about, they brought this up, but this is in a larger context. This is in the context of food insecurity and food deserts. And as I found out, a lot of people do not believe that this is accurate, but this area within the city actually is designated by the federal government as a food desert. Now, how you slice it, whether you walk, drive, ride a bus, the bottom line is it's an atrocity to have an entire half of the city where there's not fresh food, vegetables, and produce and meats. And, you know, we, as a council, as a city, some of these things we can't solve at all, but we can exude our influence and our abilities and our willingness to jump in and make changes. And this is one thing that many of you that live in this part of the county have not long known about. This has been a challenge, and if you live around this area, you also know there is no Publix or Kroger or Aldi, let alone a Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. We're not going to go there. But the reality is that the closest grocery store we live in this area is not even in this county. So it's not a situation where the city of Mableton is not benefiting on the residents. It's literally people having to leave the county in some instances to go to a grocery store. So our ultimate goal is to change that as a whole, but in the short term, I think having a fresh food market where people can come and get produce at reasonable rates is a good start. So I'm proud, I'm happy it's here. I'm thankful for the epicenter to allow vendors to come in and be able to do that. More information about other farmers markets as well, because it's something we want to make sure that everyone in the city, no matter what part of the city you live in, have access to fresh food. And hopefully we have some of our restaurants so we can truly make this a farm-to-table city in our efforts. So more to come on that. I also wanted to make note that it is unfortunate that the library did not receive the congressional direct spending that we were hoping for. I know I personally wrote letters to our senators urging them, encouraging them, and I felt this was a worthwhile effort. It's been talked about for quite some time. What I can say is that the effort will not stop with this. Right? We'll continue to try to make our library better, more improved, so it will benefit the citizens more. That's something that I know the county wants to see happen, and as a city body, we do as well. In conjunction with that, we also, I think a couple of meetings ago, we talked about a grant writer, and the city of Mableton is contracted with a grant writer, because when efforts like this happen, you don't always get them, but I can guarantee you this, you don't get any grants you don't apply for. Right, so we have to take a proactive step to start going after some of those federal dollars and state dollars, and even some of those through nonprofits that we will be able to get that would, bolster opportunities that we have in the city to be able to bring things like farmers markets or, new trails and bridges and infrastructures, all types of things that we are going to need as a city. And there's grant funding that's out there, and we have to be deliberate about going after that. When we bring on these new directors, and some of them are already sending them grant requests or opportunities that are out there, is we want to match those with challenges that we know that exist in the city and be able to put pen to paper and see if we can take our shot to get those. So a little downtrodden about the information about our library, but I'm also encouraged by the fact that I know we have a grant writer, and along with myself and probably others, we're going to take a much more direct concerted effort to do over security funds. And the last thing I just wanted to mention, I'm not going to do this at every council meeting, but I'm going to call a couple of names. Habitat for Humanity, Austell Community Task Force, Al-Fire, Family Life Restoration Center, Roots by Dawn, members of our banking community. You're all in attendance tonight. This is when I started looking, I was looking in the audience, this is a cross-section of people that make up our city. Non-profits or for-profits, community groups, of service workers, banking industries, of course our first responders. This is what the city is about. This is who we're made up of. And so I want to thank you all for coming tonight. You are part of what makes up the city. You weren't mentioned earlier, and I don't think any of these organizations actually stood up there. I know that Mr. Lancey did with regard to Firefly Riverside. But I'm thankful to have such a cross-section of people that care enough to come out to our city council meetings to hear what's going on, but also be willing contributors to building this city. So to each and every one of those organizations I called out and those that I did not, thank you for taking the time to come here. Make sure you take a moment to talk to our staff and our council members. Our ears are open, and we thank you for coming. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time tonight. Council, with that being said, I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session for litigation, real estate, and personnel.
I motion to go into executive session for real estate litigation and personnel.
I second.
Thank you. The motion's been made and duly seconded. All those in favor of going to executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Thank you.
All right.
Go to executive session. Do not plan on being here when we return. Thank you again for coming tonight. We'll see you again on April 23rd. Thank you. Thank you all for staying with us while we...
Turn on the mic.
Thank you all for staying with us while we're in executive session. At this point, I would like to entertain a motion to exit executive session.
Motion to exit
Second.
executive session.
Thank you. All those in favor of exiting executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Thank you. Council, I do not think we have any motions on the floor coming out of executive session.
Mayor Owens, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. I don't think there's any other business
Second.
in front of us either. So
I'll second the
we
motion.
have a motion. It has been duly seconded. That being
Aye.
said, I'd like to entertain a motion for us to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to,
That motion has been seconded. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are adjourned.
have a good night. Happy birthday, Mom.